Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Again, an early morning T20 World Cup game. We had this morning Zimbabwe, Australia. Obviously, Zimbabwe pulling off a great upset. Um, I I got up and traded the second innings of this game, but I only did one trade. Um, I got up, yeah, I had work, so I set myself 45 minutes. I did see some value. There was um, a big a big bit of value that I spotted, and I didn't execute this trade very well, I will add. I was going to get in at the halfway stage, but I thought actually I might wait. And I did, and my timing was terrible as a wicket fell before I could enter, which I can explain in a moment. So, we're effectively just going to have a little look at what I did. I did get some clips. There's no audio on the clips, so I'm doing the audio over the top now. As I had my child behind me was making a lot of noise, so I thought I'd wait. So what I'll do, I'll sort of get into it. So what I spotted early on is Zimbabwe hit 169 for two on a wicket that was slowing towards even the end of their innings. It was becoming very slow, very sort of two-paced, and I thought to get to 169 for two, I thought that was a very good effort, and that Australia had an injury. Also, Stoinis had hurt himself, so he effectively at the time they were unaware if he was going to bat or not, and I'm not sure the market really took that into consideration. Stoinis is a very good middle order batsman and puts together some good partnerships, and has been able to score quickly towards the end of innings. And with a hand injury, it was going to affect his batting, so I don't think that had been taken in. So at the halfway stage, Australia were priced at 1.26 after Zimbabwe had hit 170, and the analysis that I did for the game, the ground stats at Colombo, said that it would deteriorate. So I thought, okay, I want to lay Australia, but I didn't think 1.26 was great value. I thought closer to maybe 1.15 was value. And lo and behold, there was a wicket early. Well, I say that the first over Australia hit. I think they hit a 6 and a 4, and they were 13 for none after the first over. I think Sikander Raza got hit in the first over, and then the second over, Muzarabani took a wicket with his first ball, which put the price back to 1.3. So my initial thoughts were on this: how do I really think it's going to go? And when that wicket fell, so the price had got down to 1.13, and when the wicket fell, it pushed it back up to 1.29. So I thought the market is still. It's not pushing it back past Australia's starting price on the second innings that far. So I thought actually there's a bit of market bias that thinks even with Australia's injury, or maybe it wasn't taken into consideration, that they were going to press on and score 170 on a deteriorating pitch. So I thought I'm going to hold for a second, and I'm going to just see. So what I did, I held until sort of the second, third over. And as we can see here, as we are getting into this here, I got in at 1.3. I laid Australia. I'll sort of pause this here quickly so we can see. So I laid Australia as I think they, for one wicket down, effectively 2 wickets down at this point, because if you take away the Stoinis wicket, they're trading at 1.26. So the wicket came to here, and they've sort of come up slowly after a couple of dot balls. I think there was just a bit of value. That's what I personally thought. There was a bit of value. So I thought, I'm going to lay Australia again, and if another wicket goes, I'm going to hold. Because that will then show the value, or where the value should be after 2 wickets, I thought. So I thought I'm going to lay Australia. I was expecting another wicket to come early, just for the fact that Australia are very aggressive when they come out to bat, especially with Travis Head and Josh Inglis. Sort of, I just thought they're going to be a bit more aggressive. So I thought actually the price to back Australia, I was probably looking around 1.5, 1.6. Would be what I'd probably look to back Australia. Obviously, that didn't happen in the end. But if I sort of play we'll play this along and we'll sort of just see. So I'm in at 1.3. I've laid for £5. My liability is £1.50, and this is obviously at 1.2 overs into the game. So we're still very early on, and I've got a stop loss there at there we go. We've got the screen there. So it's Cam Green and Travis Head. Obviously, I've got my stop loss at 1.2. I'm happy. I'm comfortable to lose 42p here. As you can see, I'm sort of giving myself reminders. So I've centered the ladders here, and all of a sudden, a wicket within 30 seconds of my price, and the price goes to where I'd expect it to at 1.6. As we can see, it will bounce around for a minute while the market settles. So that's again another trading strategy for another day. Is there if you could get in quickly at 1.6 there, you could probably make 5 or 6 ticks profit there if you back and lay quickly enough. So I thought, right, I'll try and get out here. A really quick, simple trade. That was my thoughts there. I thought I wanted Australia to come on. I could have laid them at 1.13 before the first wicket, and actually had 2 wickets in the space of an over. Obviously, a bit of a messy cash out here in the end. But then we get to this point here, and I sort of thought, right, I'm going to wait for the market to show me a bit of value here. I'm going to see what happens in the next over or two. Is generally when 2 wickets fall in a power play, I would look to back that team. But my sort of reservations here were in wickets in South Asia, in Sri Lanka, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. It's difficult on a deteriorating pitch in daytime, especially how hot and humid it is over there at the moment. It's going to be difficult for them to recover. If they do recover it, actually the price may go up before it comes back down again. So I thought I was going to wait until the power play ended. I thought here to see effectively if any more wickets go, or if Australia make a bit of a go of it. Because if they say hit 40 runs in the next 2.5, 3 overs, then it could be actually a case of we're looking to lay Australia again. But actually, I think what happened in the end was the complete opposite. So I think I did well to sort of sit back for a moment and watch. So we're at the market here. We've hedged the position fully, £5 stakes, 86p profit, obviously. But I only ever was risking £1.50 in the market because we laid out 1.3. So sort of looking at the situation now, the target's 170 and they're effectively 3 wickets down because Stoinis is injured. He's obviously got this hand issue or this thumb issue. And as you can see there, straight away, there's another wicket. 3 balls later. So if I'd have held my position, I'd be in an even better position now. But again, there was a bit of hesitation. I was slightly unsure. I wanted to watch and see. And now actually we're in the realms of there's been 2 wickets very quickly, and you've got to make the decision of what should I do here? Should I watch and wait? Should I take some action? And I was sort of in the mindset of if this over is quiet, I'd expect this price to go near 3s. And if it did, if there was another quiet over or so, my buy-in, I think, would be 3 to back Australia in. Or if Travis Head hit a boundary, if he hits 6 or 4, I'd expect it to come closer to 2.1, where I'd probably lay them. So that is my thinking on that wicket there. It's Tim David that's out. And again, I wasn't going to take action now. I was going to sit, I was going to watch, and I was going to see how the rest of this over played out. If there was another boundary, if there was another wicket, and effectively, I've got in my mind now. I'm thinking, yes, I've got my buy-ins. I know where I want to buy in, and I know where I want to trade in whichever way the price goes. As you can see here, sort of money slightly disappears. It sort of comes down slowly. And then jumps back up again. Obviously, this is traders sort of live feeding it and sort of trading as they see the balls there. But yeah, I sort of sat and waited and thought, right, I'm gonna hold. Obviously, at the moment, looking at the stats, the required rate at this point, I think was 8.72. I'll quickly have a little look at my notes. So eventually, here I had 2 schools of thought. Could I back Zimbabwe here? Again, it sort of slightly outweighs the cons, slightly outweigh the pros here, because if I bet £10 at 1.73, 1.74. I'm standing to win £7.30, but risking 10. And if all of a sudden Travis Head does score very quickly, that price is going above twos. And once it gets to twos, obviously the increments increase. And it's risk. So again, like I've said before, patience can be your best friend in these situations. Can you sit back? Can you watch? And just show, let the market show you where it wants to go. Let the money come to you, or have your predefined points where you want to back or you want to lay. And depending on the situation, it could get to threes, but it could get to threes because Travis Head gets out, or in this case, I think it goes way beyond threes. And at that point, I think this is okay. I'm not going to trade this anymore because the value's gone, and the players that I think are going to win this game are no longer in the game. So if I'm sort of just having a little look, and so we can slightly speed this one up. So it's sort of sitting around here at 2.4. Again, in 1.7. So again, I'm sort of just sitting, watching, waiting for something to happen. And like I said earlier, in another strategy, you'd look at this and go, "Oh, there's so much value here at the moment." But the price actually, and you can see me there sort of pointing on the graph, I'd look to back here at 3, I think. And yeah, in another video, I think here I would look to back in Australia, but the price would normally be a lot higher. And again, I still think there was market bias in this of not actually taking into consideration of the injury. I know Sonis did bat in the end, but he batted right down the order, I think it's 7 or 8. And there we go. Travis Head's just got out. The price has gone up to 5s. And effectively there, you sort of lose your... you lose your value a little bit because it comes in so far. Everyone's thinking, "Oh my gosh, they're going to win. Zimbabwe are going to win." You could look at a lay on Zimbabwe potentially if the prices go up, if you're in profit at this point. But again, I've done one trade there of a £5 lay stake, and I've made 86p. You scale that up, for example, if I'd have used a £50 stake, I'd have risked £10. £15, sorry, and I've made £8.60 off of one simple lay trade at 1.26, and it coming up to sort of 1.5. So it's you don't have to trade every single jump, every single move, as long as you can. Your strike rates are high, and you're disciplined, and you know where you want to get in and where you want to get out. It can work for you, but it's about the mindset more than more than the sort of trying to predict everything. So it's that was a small, like I said, a small trade there. It was the only trade that I did on this match for this purpose. It was the only one that I recorded. I think I went to work shortly after this, and I kept an eye on it. And I was having a little look, and then sort of looking at this. Now the run rate's at 9s, and we're in the power play, and Australia are 4 wickets down. You think they're going to need something heroic here to get out of it. I think actually what happened is there was a bit of a partnership for Australia, and effectively got them sort of some runs, got them back into it a little bit, but you can see it sort of came back down to 4. So there was a bit of a resurgence in there. If you'd have laid nicely at 1.24, you could have looked at some profit there also. But again, it depends how aggressive you want to be. It depends sort of what the strategies are that you select. But this this example, it's not the tidiest, but there's clear thinking thereof. I thought there were going to be wickets in the power play. There were more than I anticipated. And at that point, I thought I'm not going to trade too much here because my strategies at that point they'd worked, they'd come in, but actually sort of following on to that strategy of should I back or lay after I've made this small profit, it can wipe that profit out if you're just trying to be greedy. So a good example, but not the tidiest, but again, it was a successful trade. It helps the strike rate, and I hope that the example sort of shows you that, again, these short price favourites on these unpredictable and spinning wickets, do provide value and do provide opportunity, even if it is small ones there of a simple £5 lay stake to bring back sort of 86p of your £1.50 liability. But thank you for watching, and hopefully over the weekend I can provide some more content.